Right then, everyone, how are we doing? So, what we're going to talk about today is the actual delivery of your service. Now, I know some of you, this is going to be almost like teaching your grandma how to suck eggs, but it's important we go through it for those of you who are maybe starting this from scratch, and just give you a few ideas of actually how to deliver this service to your clients and provide it in a good way. Okay, so everything we're now going to do is going to focus on results. A lot of the problem people will get with one-to-one personal training is they focus on the time, like it's just a personal training session, and they forget about the end results. We're now going to flip that on and say everything that we're now going to do is going to start and focus on the end result for the user first. So you need to decide what that's going to be for your program. So is this going to be a weightlifting? Is it going to be muscle building? Is it going to be strength? Is it going to be building flexibility? Like, is it going to be purely core strength? Like, you pick your niche, what it is that you want to focus on, but that you must pick sort of one of these, and that is the results that we're now trying to get our clients. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay. From there, we now need to pick a front end program. So what a front end program means, this is like our trial. It's how we bring people in. You'll have seen these before. These are people sort of, usually they're like a free session or a free week, or what we tend to do is do an actual program, because it's a results based sort of program we're now looking at. We're focusing on the result first. We are now going to be running a proper program to attract these people in. Now, this wants to be short enough that it's not intimidating. If you're saying, right, we've got a 6-month challenge for you, look, that's a huge commitment for people. They are looking for a small commitment to begin with because they're unsure, they haven't heard of you before. So typically this is between 21 days. I wouldn't go less than that. And then all the way up to 12 weeks. I have seen 12-week programs. Personally, I have run 28 days, which we do currently. I've done 6 weeks, which we did for a long, long time. And I have done 12 weeks. We use 12 weeks as more of an upsell. So when we were doing our 6 weeks, we're like, cool, you can get 6 weeks for this price, or you get 12 weeks for this price. So it's just a bit of an upsell that we had. But I would strongly recommend 28 days and 6 weeks, well, those two to begin with. And then from there, you need to understand the deliverables. So what is the client actually going to be getting for their money? So you need to have this, an idea. So number one is going to be the training. So how are you actually going to deliver that? Is this going to be in person? Is it going to be remote? Are you going to be doing one-to-one personal training? Is it small groups? Is it slightly larger groups? Is it big? Is it big boot camp? So you have to decide what level you are going to be delivering this on, and that might be depending on space, what you prefer to do, but you need to just know exactly how that's going to be done. How the nutrition is going to be done. So again, there's lots of ways that you can actually deliver this. So you can do sort of generic meal plans. They're not particularly high value, but they're easily done. So it's a good sort of value in your time, but the client doesn't get as much. Or you're going to do more personalized coaching. So you're going to actually coach them through everything and do this one-to-one with every client. Again, more time for you, but more value for the client in the end. So there's a trade-off to all of this. So again, you can run through and decide exactly how you want to build this out. You can even outsource it. There are dietitians and nutritionists out there that you can outsource this stuff to. And then picking your ideologies. Remember, this is your program. You can decide what information you want to push out there. So if you're a fan of everyone doing keto, then by all means do that, but lean into it and actually call it like a 28-day keto program or something like that. Whereas if you've got more reflective program, again, make sure that you know exactly how it's going to be delivered, because you need to be able to explain this to clients when we get onto the sales side of stuff. You need to be able to tell them exactly what they're going to be getting and why you're going to be doing this in a certain way. So all of this is important that you work out from there. And then finally, the support side of things. So these are sort of 3 areas that I think need covering: training, nutrition, and accountability. So those are what I always work off of. So are you going to be tracking their attendance? Are you going to be doing weekly check-ins? Is that going to be on the phone? Is that text? Is that email, in person? Are you going to have a Facebook group set up, or a WhatsApp group? Both. What are they going to be used for? Are you going to be tracking their food intake? Are you going to be tracking their results? So if you are tracking results, is this a weigh-in? Are you doing caliper measurements? Are you using a set of scales that does the bioelectrical impedance? How are you actually going to be measuring all of their results, if indeed that you're going to be doing it at all? So you need to be deciding all this. And again, so just to repeat myself, the more you give them, the more valuable your program is going to be, but the more time and effort it's going to take for you. So there is a way up for this. You have to decide where that middle ground is for you. And you might even test all sorts of bits and pieces. So a very quick video, this one, that is the sort of the core elements, but you need to decide what that is actually going to look like. So I tell you what, I'll go back through and actually talk you through about how we did this. So the training for us, we did 3 sessions a week, or still do 3 sessions a week. It's group personal training. So for us, we fall in this sort of 60 to 20 sort of range a lot of the time. We do one upper body session a week with them, one lower body, and one cardio. So that's how we actually break it down in terms of our training on a weekly basis. From that, the nutrition, we've got a combination of preset recordings and videos for the nutrition, partly that we've done, partly that we've actually outsourced and have done for us by professionals. We then take them through a full process of nutrition tracking. So we start with food tracking exercise, then we do a calorie tracking exercise, and then we start looking more macros. We start looking at protein and fruit and veg and all that sort of stuff. And then we check that weekly with our clients to make sure that they're sticking to all of that. And then we take a flexi diet approach. Ours is a purely calorie counting exercise for the most part to start with. And we then get a bit more advanced with our sort of longer term clients. And then in terms of the support, we track their attendance at the gym. So we've got a booking system that's used for them to book in. We do that weekly, make sure they're always coming down. We do weekly check-ins. So this is for our trial clients. So we will contact them by text every single week. How's the week been? Can you send me your food diary? Any issues? What have you done well? Can you send me your weigh-in? All that sort of stuff. We have a WhatsApp group where we fill all sort of bits and pieces, and it's nice for them to be able to chat about sort of how they're doing and just talk amongst themselves and laugh at the coaches. And if a session was hard, tell us all that sort of stuff. It's a place to build that community. And then, like I said, so we check their food diaries weekly, and then we do measurements. So different gyms are slightly different, but we always try and get body fat percentage, we try and get weight, and then we try and get some sort of other measurements, typically waist measurements, but it varies, depends on the gym and the clientele that we're working with in each one. But that's how we go about sort of our tracking. So we've done that for a long time. We've perfected this over the course of years. We've tested some stuff and others. I've done more one-to-one nutrition before, and I found it made no difference. We've done less tracking, we've done more tracking. So you have to discover what works for you around how you enjoy working, around the results you're trying to get. But that gives you a good idea of a starting process, at least from there. So have it all written down. As always, any questions, do let me know.